everything kind of became the digital age after that, and maybe that our world has changed that way. It's a fun theory.
I do know 9/11 had a serious impact. I don't know if it had anything to do with this. Possibly. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
I'll pitch to you this way. Let's say that that was the event that we all had to share to kind of wake up together. If we are, and if the Matrix did exist.
Well, I'll say that only affects America.
Everything that we had in our brains before that was memories. And what have we been, movies, pop culture, what has everything been since 9/11 happened? It's all been retro nostalgia. What did I remember? How can I bring it back? I want my Transformers. Give me Star Wars.
Member berries.
Well,
the first
Kardashians are
movie,
new.
the first digital Star Wars was 2002. Before that, everything in our memories was film. Phantom Menace was film, Rob. Okay? So,
was it? It shouldn't have been. I'm sorry.
Really?
But now,
okay.
we're this is the digital age from that, and that world is manipulated a little differently, and that everything we remember, we're trying to bring everything back we remember. It's all, let's take those animated movies we remember and make them live action. Let's make every comic book we ever remembered a movie and keep going with it. Where's Star Wars? We need all our Star Wars. It's all that. So that's just a theory that some people have, and I mean, it sounds interesting. But
do those people think that there's been nothing new or original created since? Is that what their standpoint is?
I think there's been some, but maybe you could probably point to a lot of. I mean, I'm talking, bigger, like pop culture kind of touchstones, like Lord of the Rings. I remember these books that fascinated me. Let's make those movies. Like I get it.
It's definitely, it gives off this weird feeling. Like it makes you feel like you're betrayed by your own memories, and that like it's like a weird. It's something about it doesn't feel natural. It feels like supernatural for some reason. Like
it feels wrong.
It's really strange. It's very strange.
It's that feeling.
That's why I'm mad.
It can be, or hey, what are you gonna do? Sometimes you just gotta roll with it. You can't change.
I'm just gonna cry. No. I feel like I'm on the verge of tears right now. I do.
Again?
No, I'm just kidding. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
So of all those theories, what do you guys like? What do you think we got here? You think this could have been the CERN thing? Was this 9/11? Is this time travel? What do you guys like? I mean, there's no way to actually explain it. I like the time travelers. I think
I want Rob to go first.
I can talk on this a little bit. I feel
bad.
I'm thinking like I always feel like like I said before, like did a bomb go off or something? I feel like maybe because I love Stephen King books and I love like sci-fi stuff, that you could say that some maybe we became too technologed and we and a bomb went off and now all the layers of reality have shifted and some things, and then it put itself back together, and this is what it ended up like, or something along those lines. Or I really like the idea that maybe time travelers are independently like going back on missions and
shooting the guy who invented Kit Kat. So
exactly, the graphic designer shooting the graphic designer who worked on Kit Kats, and then changing the whole design of the candy
and
game,
getting rid of all the previous drafts.
Exactly, yeah, just changing the whole candy game forever.
Forever.
I know, but there are so many more of these, and it's just part of our world, the conspiracy world, the paranormal world. Now it could be anything. Who knows? Maybe we're all haunted. Let's put ghosts in it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's ghosts.
It could be. Maybe that's involved. Maybe it's. I like the idea of like time loops and like time conundrums and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and that kind of fits right in with this sort of thing.
Yeah, it does. It does. I believe in time slips, and because I've heard some really crazy stories, but that's a topic for another day. Obviously.
Yeah, totally.
I definitely, for a lot of them, like I was very vocal about, I think a lot of them were just mistakes, or they did both. They tried both and then phased one out and whatever. But there are some really fucking weird ones. That I know that there's a couple that I've seen that weren't mentioned today or right now. Maybe we'll touch on them later, but yeah, there's some really weird ones that make me wonder, like, who is behind this and why. And I like the idea of the time traveler, but that wouldn't add up. That just doesn't add up to me. Like, why wouldn't it be a bunch of other different things why these specific ones, especially. Well, maybe we'll touch on them in the future, but there's some that just do not make any sense.
If he's like a really careful time traveler, he makes sure not to like step on any bugs, like literally butterfly effect.
Definitely not.
I don't. Maybe.
Who knows? But I love the time travel theory because that just means time travel exists. So we're going to get back to this topic sometime, but let's go out now and let's think about our false memories.
I'm going through changes. I'm going through changes in my life. Oh, baby. Oh, no.
Now it's time for Unbeliever News. Well, not exactly news. This is something about us, and this is something I mentioned at the end of last week's episode, but now comes the official announcement. We have just started a Patreon. Woohoo! Now, we're doing it a little differently for the first couple of months. We've started a Patreon, so if you're interested in supporting the show, that's a way you can do it, but our first 2 months, we're not setting up the different tiers right now. We're just going to have one tier of $5. And with that $5 tier for the first 2 months, just anyone who's in it, we're donating all of this money to the Jason Signs Foundation. Jason Signs is a former co-host of the Unbelievable podcast, and he was in a bad accident and needs money for medical help. Right, Rob?
Yeah, we're going to, like Russ said, we're donating everything we make in the first 2 months to the GoFundMe for Jason Signs. Once the 2 months are done, we will sum all the money up and we will do a donation and we'll show everybody how much we raised as a fan base of unbelievers here. And we love the Unbelievable podcast, and if you go back and you listen to some of those episodes with Jason, they're really funny. And check out his YouTube and stuff. He's a funny guy, and he just needs some help. And I think this is a fun way for us to kind of kickstart our Patreon and get everybody on board. And at the same time, we can help somebody who needs some help right now. And any little bit helps. And if you want to help us do this donation, it's incredible. We appreciate it. And if you feel inclined to donate more to Jason, then we'll have the links to his GoFundMe all over all of our stuff. This way, it's easy for you guys to click on it and give him some more money if you feel inclined to help out.
Yeah, and with this, you will be, it's only 2 months. I know it's not a long time, but we're going to just do what we can. We're going to be, after that time, we're going to kind of set it up with different tiers. Like it'll be a $1 tier, maybe 5, 10 or something. We're going to figure out tiers later, but anyone who signs up right now is going to get access to some, little one-off shows we're doing, little extra bonus content we're going to have up there every week. And also, I've got these really, really killer Unbelievers podcast stickers that Raymond made me. And I'm not really even exaggerating. These things are really, really nice. He made them themselves. They're like all-weather stickers you can put on a car, put outside anywhere. They got like a vinyl coat. They're die cut. They're just the logo of the show. They look really cool. So anyone who signs up, I'm going to send you one of those. And if you were ever on the Unbelievable podcast Patreon and you ever received anything in a little envelope, that was probably from me. So you can kind of trust that one of the reasons I want to get the Patreon going is so I can make more Patreon gifts and send stuff to people, because if we can fund that, I'll be very happy. And that's it. Thanks a lot.
And if
some of you guys sign up,
if you get in, early, and if you get in, in these first 2 months here, you still get your name read in the credits, so you get a little extra, flavor there for you.
And sounding like an infomercial, I love it. Like, yeah, wait, there actually is more.
Yeah, you don't want to forget that one. It's the credits it's fun to be in the credits.
Yeah, you
Hell
want
yeah.
acknowledgement. Come on, let's face it. When you do a charitable thing, you don't do it for the credit, but it feels good, to get recognized. It feels good.
That's right. And you get to get a cool sticker and some cool bonus content for us. We're talking about doing all kind of weird stuff on there. We've already got a great episode up there already. It's already set up. So just go to patreon.com/unbelieverspodcast. You'll find us there. And like we said, just the first couple months, we're just going to keep it $5 tier, and all the money's going to Jason Signs for these first couple months. But anyone signs up, you're getting a sticker, you're getting the bonus stuff. And I'm sure there's more to come. We're probably going to do some open line stuff too. We got a lot of stuff lined up. So check it out. Patreon.com/unbelieverspodcast. And before we go, speaking of these things, okay, I'm going to do a little mail call here before we do actual mail. Kevin Vale, Matt Hespenhide, Michael Agilman, Nick Smith, Matthew Martin, Ryan Nikolai, and Arif Akhtar. I have your final Patreon things here. For Unbelievable Podcast. They all got returned to sender over the last couple months, and I've forgotten that I have all these. But if I read your name there, just find me on Facebook or anywhere and message me and give me your address, and I'll send these to you. I've still got all these packages here. These are just the ones that came back from the 150 so that went out. So that's it. Thanks a lot. Patreon.com/unbelieverspodcast. Now it's time for real Unbelievers Podcast mailbag.
The Unbelievers mailbag.
Hey man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here.
Sup, bitches? It's mail time. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Woo! I missed that. Well, we're doing the mailbag because my call has been answered and people have sent me spooky stories. And
yay!
Yes, they came, and I can't read them all, but I'm going to read a couple, and let's just get into it and put some creepy music on while we do it. This one says, "Hello, Russ, Drea, Rob, and Jude. This is the Wombat Preservationist. First off, you guys are doing an amazing job carrying the Unbelievable torch and making it your own. I look forward to listening every week, and I'm always impressed with your topics and interviews." All right.
I'm like, that's not the spooky part.
Now,
Save it.
now for the story. So I grew up in a haunted house. Lots of weird and creepy shit happened while I lived there. In fact, I wrote in before on the Unbelievable Podcast under a different name for their Shadow People episode. So this happened at a New Year's Eve party. We were all in the basement, and people kept running upstairs and not shutting the door behind them. After the third or fourth time this happened, I yelled, "Will someone shut that goddamn door?" And myself and fellow unbeliever Alien Nunchaka watched as it swings fully open to be slammed shut. We both pointed and yelled, "What the fuck?" Then we tried to explain and to recreate it. We tried opening different doors in the house to get a draft going or something, but couldn't. Several other people saw this happen and were pretty freaked out. I just ended up saying thanks to my ghost friend and tried to enjoy the rest of the party. Thanks, guys. Wombat Preservationist.
Wow.
Weird.
I mean, it listened though. It didn't. It wasn't a jerk. He said it slammed it though. He slammed the door shut. So maybe it got a little bit of attitude behind that. Like,
Well,
oh, you
yeah.
want this door closed? Fine.
Will somebody close that goddamn door? Boom.
It reminded me of that Panic at the Disco song, but probably sounded better.
Closing the goddamn door.
No.
A little shout out to Alien Nunchaka there because he watched as it swings from
Yeah.
fully open to slam shut. Very
That's
cool story.
spooky. I like it.
Thank you, Unbeliever Michael. Very cool. And I'm pretty sure we have another one.
Oh,
And
two. Nice.
let's see this one. This one's a little longer. Dear Unbelievers host, this is Unbeliever Tyler from Chicago. I wanted to submit to your unbelievable listener stories with one of my own. My voice is way too high for how large I am, so I'd much rather have Russ or one of the hosts read it. Oh, thank you. It's okay. You don't have to do Jeff's voice. Well, what if I want to?
Don't.
Okay, all right. Quick background about myself. I've always been interested in the paranormal. I would listen to Art Bell with my dad when I was little, and he would always buy me books on cryptids and aliens to cultivate my budding interest. That's very nice. I first heard the Unbelievable podcast when they premiered their Art Bell Tribute Month and quickly became an avid fan. In my adulthood,